So far, even if we are moving or whatever we are actually doing, our weapon is dead accurate. It always shoots at the center of the screen. So let's fix that. Now, there is two ways to fix that. Let's first of all remove the audio listener for the camera. So let's open up our controller, and when we are shooting, let's collapse all of this. Let's say handle shooting. We're pretty much taking the base position and we're doing this. So we need to make this a little bit better. First of all, we need to know the spread of each weapon, but we're just going to assume there is the same spread. So that will be here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say origin, which I'm going to take the camera transform dot position. Okay, then I'm going to get camera transfer dot position forward. Okay, then we're going to get a random position inside a sphere, and that will be a random dot inside unit circle, which gives us values from -1 to 1. Okay, we multiply that by our spread, some spread. I think I'm just going to make this into a public variable for now, but the safest way to do this will be to hard code it if you don't want, to be able to be hackable. So that will be spread range. Let's set this to 1. We'll find the correct value and we'll fix it when we need to. Till then, we don't care. Okay, so on that origin, you're going to add the random value. So automatically, if you draw a line right from this position, you automatically get a randomized position from the shooting. But in this case, the bullets will not be coming from the center of the screen. They could be coming from here. And drawing a line straight from here, right away, you will see that it actually shoots from really down there. So it really shoots right through on top of the wall, and we don't want that. So how do we fix this? We're basically going to draw a line. Let's see, we get a random position. Yeah, we're going to draw a line from offsetted position, and that will be getting our origin and adding the camera transform dot forward multiplied by 100. So we're adding a distance to that, and that is our offset position. From that offset position, then we're going to draw a new direction. Yeah, we're going to get a new direction from the offset position minus the origin, or actually we've added on the origin. So the real origin, which is our camera transfer dot position, which is this, and then we're going to be passing that to this. Okay, so we have camera transfer position to direction, so it's a new direction. So basically, if we take a line, if we draw this out on paper, what we had before is, maybe use lines instead of brushes. Let's see, maybe use a shape. So this is what we had before. So what am I doing is I'm getting a random position over here, over here, over here, over here. Okay, around in a circle. Just think of this as a circle. I know it's good enough. So I'm getting a line from that random position straight at the same direction of where the camera is looking. Okay, if I was just shooting without doing the direction, without doing this part, that will mean if there was a wall over here, you actually just shot on top of the wall. So how do we fix that? We basically have a random position. On that random position, on a scale of this, so this is the 100 by 100, what's happening, what's doing, you're getting from that position, you're getting a direction from that. So you're actually shooting from the center from the origin, you're actually shooting towards there. Now, obviously, mathematics tells us that the longer I make this line, since we're searching for the edge, the smaller the spread range is going to be. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's a little bit of mathematics over here. Well, it's not really mathematics. That's the main idea. The longer we get it from this, the smaller the spread. So use that to your advantage, but that's the main idea for that. So that's awesome. Let's test this out. That's all we need to do because we just passed the ballistics. And now we should be able to see some randomizations onto this. Okay. And true indeed, we do see random positions. Let's change the spread a little bit more. Let's say spread range of 5. Now spread range of 5, it's really too much because if you take it that one range is 5, if you take it that one point in unity is 1 meter, you're offsetting like 3 times your height. But that's actually not bad, just not for this weapon, I'd say. Okay, and it also depends on your spread. Awesome, so let's just let's actually make this right onto the weapons. So that will be current weapon, public, float, spread, let's say 3, then onto our controller, current weapon dot spread. Spread range, we don't need this anymore. Now, if you are, of course, aiming down the sides, you kind of want to almost eliminate this. So, without changing too much the logic, we're going to say if is ADS spread, just set it to something tiny. That's for normal bullets. If you want to do a shotgun, you actually just want to also keep the spread like this. So every time you're also shooting, we can raise a flag where we actually already do is shooting. Okay, and in the crosshair we can say add spread moving if controller dot is shooting. Actually, that doesn't tell us that it's shooting, that tells us that he is pressing the button, so that's the shooting input. Let's rename this to shooting or shoot input. Let's make this now public bool is public bool, or yeah, is shooting flag. Is shooting flag then over here, or handle input, recast bullet, can fire, you are firing here, is shooting flag equals true, and that's kind of a stupid thing I just did, because we already have a recoil flag and we can use that. So whatever, is shooting flag, let's just make this public. Then inside my crosshair I can just say if controller is recoil flag. Recoil flag basically means you're going to add recoil, which means you just shot. Add spread. Well, just add some spread, whatever. Let's just say 25. I don't really care. Okay, and that is your spread. Now, the other thing that we can also do is if your ADS or the controller is interacting, just let fade out the crosshair. So just so that it makes for a little bit more polish. That's all. Okay, recoil flag closes before we are over there, so I think we need to also, yeah, let's add the shooting flag. Actually, no, the recoil flag can close on late update. Okay, so that's it. Shooting flag, the recoil flag can close on the late update, so we should be able to add some spread to this. I guess not. I don't know. Okay, let's check that this is actually happening. This is in the update. Let's say debug.log. Oh, yeah, no, they run at the same time. So we cannot run this with a recoil flag then. We need to have a public bool is shot has shot flag. That's why, because they both run inside update, they both run at the same time, so this won't happen, this will not work. Let's just say has shot flag equals true, or let's maybe move it on the top. Then inside the crosshair we can close it here. Okay, perfect. So another thing that I want to change is actually I don't like that the lines should be really starting from the weapon, not from the center of the screen, of course. So to fix that, I'm going to go under my controller, or actually it's more of the weapons, whatever. Let's create something that we're going to call as weapon hook. Now, yeah, okay, let's do this as weapon hook, whatever. Now, weapon hook is going to be used both on TPS and FPS. So it's going to be the same thing, but public transform is, well, I'm just going to start bullet origin. We can also check for any particle systems we have over here. On start, void start, particles equals get component in children, get components in children, particle system, and then we can have a public void shoot. where we can go through all of that. So for particles dot length particles I dot play. Okay, then let's say on a runtime weapon or a current weapon, actually random item, we're going to add a weapon hook for this. Now we can use an FPS weapon hook or a TPS weapon hook. I think we should be fine just using one now. We're going to add the client stuff later, so whatever. Now I'm going to hard code this. Well, on init, when you're getting the weapon, that's where you're going to be also assigning the weapon hook and so on and so on. So for now, I'm just going to go and say get component children weapon hook, and that will be it. Then when I'm shooting, actually when I'm shooting, I can just say current weapon shoot. We already have it here, and we can say if weapon hook is not null, weapon hook dot shoot as well. And I can also say on the ballistics, since I do have access to this, instead of origin of the bullet line, instead of using this, we could just say or owner current weapon hook. Yeah, okay, that will mean we always need to have this. So just to avoid any errors, vector 3 line start, I'm just going to assign it as origin, and we're going to say if owner dot current weapon not equals null, if not equals null, and owner dot current weapon dot weapon hook is not equal to null, then line start will be owner current weapon hook dot bullet origin. Technically you should also check if the bullet origin is correct or not, and not that. Okay, and add this over here. Now one small thing to note, the raycast comes from the center of the screen, not from the bullet origin. You could do this by the bullet origin, but it's not how you do this in an FPS. You will do it you will set it from the center of the screen. At least that's what I'm going to do. I think it makes for a little bit better game. So the weapon hook will go on the test weapon pivot, because this is the actual prefab we're going to be using, not this. And then we just need to find a bullet origin. We just need to define it, and of course that will be right at the center of this. So weapon test weapon pivot, drop that there. And actually we could make this now into a prefab itself, test weapon pivot. Well, we can delete it. Let's try the line, and we're going to try with instancing it later. Okay. Okay. Bullet origin. I don't know what actually happened. I thought we will get the line, but it didn't. We didn't. No, they're still coming from the center of the screen. So that's why is that. If owner current weapon hook. Let's see. Let's put a breakpoint actually. Okay. Current weapon is not null. Oh, yeah, of course. Because we're using the origin, not the line start. Silly me. Okay, so let's try this, and that will be, I think, that can be it. Oh, actually, yeah, let's create the weapons as well. Okay, so you can see the bullets. Perfect, that's actually amazing. When we add the animations to this, you'll see that it will come all together. Perfect. So let's also add then the animation, the game, and that will be on our weapon. We assign the prefab, then on our controller, on init, where's the init? Current weapon, we're not going to be doing this. First of all, we're going to be creating our game object, weapon object, from instantiating the current weapon base item prefab. Okay, then weapon object transform parent will be the weapon parent. Then we can also change the local position. We can do all that, and we kind of have to. Okay, so here's one thing. We're going to do public void load weapon with a string of the weapon ID, and we're going to get this all in here. Current weapon, then weapon ID. What do we use for weapon ID? We use this here. Weapon ID, weapon ID. Okay, then for the current weapon, what we just did, current weapon dot weapon hook will be weapon object dot current get component in children weapon hook, and that will do it. Okay, one more thing we can actually do on our pivot, on our weapon. Open that up. We can add some prefabs. We can add some particles. So let's see what we have over here. We have some smokes, bullets, bullet cells. Well, we can add some bullet cell. Let's see. Yeah, that's perfect. That's not even the correct bullet cell for this gun. Let's see, that's the battle royale. I think we can just use the guns mode. I think that's too much for this one, for this type of gun. Let's make it smaller. It's not scaling by, it should scale by the hierarchy. And I think I'd like some less sparks. Okay, then we can have some. Well, okay, we can have some bullet trails as well. Just not like that. And just not this. Okay, first of all, it's not going to be looping. It's just going to have one duration, and it's just going to have an emission of rate over time, just one. And we're just going to use a cycle, count of 1, interval 0, probability 1. And that will be it actually. Simulation speed, let's set it to 3. And let's say that scaling mode will be from the hierarchy, so it's scaled down and it will look like an actual bullet cell from a pistol and not from a rifle. Okay, let's make sure they don't play on awake, all of them. Okay, perfect. Let's leave that to that and let's try shooting, and I think that's it for this part as well. Okay, the weapon, yeah, we also need to assign this. Weapon actual transfer will be weapon object dot transform. Okay, of course, as a fire rate for the weapon, it's still pretty high. We want something smaller. But yeah, you get the idea. Once the animations come in, they are going to be pretty good. So let's finish this part. As always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and if you like to see more stuff, more videos, more series, more of everything, consider supporting my Patreon so we can keep making all of these nice things we're making. I'll see you next time.